everyone. Welcome to class. This is your first time to do a class with me. Welcome. My name is Rain. I'm here to guide you through your practice for today's class. So if it's maybe early in the morning or maybe late at night, if you've done a lot of work for today, welcome to class. So I'll be showing you some awesome yoga poses for today's practice. So there you go. I set up my laptop already just so I can see what's happening. So I'm going to be here really far from you today just because we're going to do some standing poses. All right. But just follow my voice if you won't be able to see me that much. But I'm going to go here just a little bit at the middle before we start. There you go. So again, welcome to class. We're going to do some yoga today. Nothing really intense. Just some poses that can help guide you in all of the things that we need to address. In this class, we're going to practice yoga poses. So something essential for our posture, something that can reduce pain if we're feeling anything painful in our back or anything that is coming from or stemming from bad posture. All right, so I have 2 blocks here with me today. Feel free to grab yours as well. This is the time for you to grab your blocks or anything that you have there. Maybe thick books, blankets, anything that can support you in your practice today. Maybe some long towels or maybe meditation pillows. Feel free just to put them on the side. I'll show you how to use them today. Since we are dealing with posture, we're going to do so much. All right, so without further ado, let's start. So I'm going to be here at the back of my mat, finding myself at the center. So when we say yoga poses to improve posture and reduce pain, we know that there's so much pain stemming from just one thing, not having a good posture. So when we say pain with regards to bad posture, we can think of low back pain, maybe upper back, maybe neck, something here in your sacroiliac, and something that we don't really see that much that has an effect on it, but you don't think that you do, is digestive issues. Imagine having a bad posture at least for one day or most of the day, and you find yourself having stomach problems. It's because you don't have bad posture. The stomach tends to not have that space for it to do its work, which is to digest. So imagine eating a hearty meal and then having a bad posture after, maybe even like sitting really low, can affect so much with your digestion. So here in this practice, I'm going to show you how you can improve your posture, something that you can find awareness on how you can do it every single day. Maybe probably what they say usually is to put an alarm. I think there are apps there that can give you this, wherein it alarms you for like 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes every single day, just so it can give you awareness that you need to improve your posture, especially if you've been sitting for so long. If your work tends to give you a space where you can just where you're just sitting all day. Yeah. So in that alarm, in that set, that you'll have found awareness, or even if you don't do that, once you feel that there's already pain in wherever you're practicing or wherever you are sitting on, let's go and do this poses. Yeah. So let's go and start. The first one would be your heart openers. So these ones are the yoga practices that you can do. If you feel like there's something on your back, maybe in the middle, probably also on your shoulders and on the neck. All right. So first off, we'll do your cat and cow. If this is your first time to do a yoga practice, I invite you to go at the middle of your mat. If you don't have a mat yet, perfectly fine. Give yourself a good space, maybe in the bed or maybe a carpet, something that can support your joints, your wrists, and your knees here. So I have here a mat. If you feel like your mat is too thin for today, since we're stepping on the mat with your wrist and your knees, feel free to double them up. Yeah. So with your cat and cow, I'm going to find myself on my tabletop. Shoulders stack on my wrists, hips stack on my knees. You have an option to tuck or untuck. Yeah. If you also feel that your mat is too thin, you can go and put your mat like this. You're going to fold it like this. Compared to the other yoga teachers maybe that fold their mats in a different way, this is the best way, I believe, for me, because when I take myself out of there, it just goes back instead of like folding it like this. Quick tip, right? Because when you fold it like this, you need to take it back like that, and it's so much of a hassle. So when you fold it like that and you take yourself out, it goes back on its own. Yeah, so something that you can do. A quick tip from a yoga teacher. All right, with your cat and cow, let's go. Shoulders stack on your wrist, open the fingers out wide. Somehow 60 to 70%, nothing too much, all right? We don't want so much energy there. Hips onto the knees. Now, if you're already feeling that low back pain or any kind of pain in your posture, or this one can be a little bit more of an opener, we're going to start from our tailbone when you do your cat and cow. So on an inhale, since it's paired with a breath, on an inhale, we're going to do your cow. So from the tailbone, so we're going to start from our tailbone. Your tailbone is going to point up. So that's your anterior pelvic tilt. You're going to take your belly down as you point your tailbone up. So we're going to exaggerate that back bend. Notice how your heart is somehow protruding forward and down. We're going to roll your shoulders back and around so you can push it forward. Now you're gazing forward. You have an option to gaze up if you have some more. Notice how your shoulder blades are opening here. And then slowly on your exhale, we're going to do the reverse. So from the tailbone again, tuck the tailbone, belly comes up. Your ribs are going to come in. Chin will press to the chest. Your shoulder blades will widen to the side. Notice how your hands can help you here by pressing it to the ground. Notice how the tops of your feet or your toes are here as well, and your knees. Press it to the ground so you can really, really stretch here as you take all of your breath out. We're going to do that one more round. Inhale to your cow. Tailbone up, belly down, heart opens. Maybe gaze forward or gaze up. Shoulder blades come together. Exhale around the back. Tuck the tailbone, belly in, ribs in, chin to chest. You can gaze in between the knees or gaze at your belly button. One more round. Inhale to your cow. You're going to imagine how the spine wakes up. Every single vertebrae undulating. Open up. You can exaggerate this back bend by bending the elbows a little bit or pressing more to the front. And then exhale, we're going to round the back to your cat. Tuck the tailbone. Gently notice how the heart wants to press the sky. Then again, exaggerate. Maybe press a little bit more weight on the knees. Let's do that one more round. Inhale to your cow. Tailbone up. Belly down. Heart opens. Gaze up. And then exhale around the back. Notice how you can press more on your knuckle pads and your finger pads as well, so that we're not pushing any pain on your wrist pads, just there alone. On your next inhale, once you feel that you're already good with that, you can also do this with your eyes closed. You can come back to your neutral spine. Yeah, and then slowly swing the hips side to side. There you go. If you feel that was too much on the wrist, you can slowly sit at the back of your mat. Curl there for a bit. Find some wrist openers here. Yeah. Especially if you haven't done yoga in a while, or that is some space where you are in your quadrupedal stance and you haven't done that for so long and you press so much weight on your hands. Wrist openers are there for you. All right, let's go find another one. This one is your cobra. So we have two cobras in yoga. You have your low cobra and your high cobra. So I'm going to show you how you can do it. So we're going to go to your prone pose. So heart, hip, belly all the way down to the ground. I'm not going to go there that much because I have my mic here with me. So what usually happens on a cobra, maybe on a low cobra, I'm going to show you how to do it. Hands are here beside the chest or maybe to the low ribs. Elbows are pressing to the ribs, not flaring out to the side. All right. And then I want you to tap the bottoms of your feet down. You can take your feet wider than your hips if you feel like you need it. All right. In this cobra, we're going to activate your legs rather than dumping everything on your low back. So find your legs here. Tap into the bottoms of your feet so much that your pinkies are also grounded. You're tapping it or you're pressing it so much that your knees are lifted. Imagine how the quads, and notice how your hamstrings are super, super engaged here. Your glutes are clenching. And notice that when you lift your heart up, we're not putting any weight or dumping it on the low back. You have an option to gaze forward, or you can chin down a little so you can feel that stretch, that long stretch on your back, neck. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. This is somehow an activation on the legs. Now, if you want to go further, feel free to do that. Press into the hands and lift a little bit here. Keep the bend on the elbows. You can turn out your hands if this is too much on the wrist. I want you to press into the hips, down into the pubic bone. Again, engage into all of your legs. So we're not pressing so much or not really at all on the low back. On your exhale, we're going to release. Belly, heart, maybe forehead down to the mat. Yeah, so we're going to do that one more round. Again, before going to your low cobra or your high cobra, activation on the legs. This is super important, all right? So we're not pushing any more pain on where it's supposed to be. Gently activate the legs, firm the inner thighs, tap the bottoms of your feet, pinkies grounded down as well, knees lifted. Notice how the kneecaps are super, super strong. Now, roll the shoulders down and back, look forward, press into the hands, firm the elbows in, and then slowly rise. Press into the pubic bone. Again, you can go as high as you want, maybe extending your arms like this. Or if this is not an option, keep a bend on the elbows. Yeah? You have an option to gently shimmy here as well if that is good for you today, only if it's good. If it's painful, don't go there. You have an option to find your heels side to side if you have that today. Yeah? If you have an option or if the body invites, you can gaze up. Inhale. And then exhale. We're going to release. Gently bend onto the elbows. Tap the belly, the heart, and the forehead down to the ground. Awesome. So to release any tension that there was in your low cobra, take your hands here at the center and then bow the forehead down. We're going to bend both knees, focus the feet, and gently swing it side to side. Just a way to release any tension or just neutralize the spine. All right. Once we're through, we're going to go to our next pose. So take your hands. We're going to go back to your tabletop. So making sure nothing is painful again. You have options to use your blankets. You have an option to use props here. This time around, we're going to do a puppy pose. So some people find this really, really intense. I'll show you how to do it. Let's go. So with your puppy pose, I'm going to go to my tabletop first, like this. And then slowly, I'm going to look at the top of my mat. I'm going to reach with my hands. I have an option to take my hands shoulder distance apart or maybe a little bit wider. Turn it out a little bit with your hands if you feel that the shoulders are tight. Now I'm going to bow down with my hips still stacked on my knees. I'm going to go and fold down. So forehead grounds down, allowing some deep opening on my armpits, my shoulders. And then if I have some more, only if you have some more, you're going to look forward and then allow the heart to really press. I'm not going to do that because I have my mic there. And then try to take my chin down and look forward here. Yeah? Keeping these hips stacked on my knees. If this is not available for today, if you feel like this is too much, you can gently just go a little bit more forward. There you go. Like that. Again, I'm not going to do that because I have my mic there. You have an option to find blocks here for you, or maybe pillows. Remember having your meditation pillows or bolsters. You can find that here at the center, like how we do this in our yin yoga. Find blocks and gently place them on your heart or maybe in your forehead, like so. There you go. So protecting my mic. You can go as high as this one if you want. Yeah. So just stay there for a bit and notice this deep, intense stretch on your mid-back, on your shoulders, releasing any pain or any tension that there is. So one last time, I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to go as deep as I can without damaging my mic here. So going down, chin down, puppy pose. Yeah. If there's any tension here, it's really more on opening on the throat, on your shoulders, pressing onto all of your forearms, energizing from your fingertips as well so that you don't really slide too much. Anterior pelvic tilt. Imagine your inner thighs pressing the back. And then slowly, once you release, come back up and then counter stretch. Come back to your tabletop. Spider fingers on your hands and then tuck the tailbone, chin to chest. Curve the back so much, if that was so much for you as well. Big breath here. And then big breath out. And then slowly you're going to release. Shake the hips side to side. There you go. So, done with that one. A little bit more on the heart openers is your camel pose. So with your camel pose, I think you have done this before. This is somewhat like of a back bend. I want you to know that camel pose is a practice, a technique. So I've done a lot of camel poses. I, for one, is flexible enough to just go and dip down with my back bend. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to learn more on the technique on how to lengthen the spine and press the hips forward rather than finding our way in our flexibility, because we want to have our camel pose super active. All right. So if you're here with me, if you feel like you have opening today and your back bend, we're going to go to our knees. So shoulders stacked on your knees, straight line here. You have an option to tuck or untuck the toes. I'm going to take my blocks here on my shins, maybe near my ankles. You can do that too. Put it on the highest setting because we can take our hands there later on. I'm going to show you how to do that. But I want you to find awareness that we're pressing or engaging the front of our hips, our hip flexors. So how do we activate that? First, reach your hands forward, maybe palms facing down, shoulders grounded down, straight line from the shoulders towards the knees, and then tuck the tailbone, press the outer hips in, and then slowly I want you to go and lean back. So notice how you can reach your edge, come back whenever you feel like it. Inhale here, and then exhale, press back. Find the strength of your hips to gently push you back. Yeah, in this way, we're just activating the front of the hips. This is preparatory for your camel pose. Come back, sensor, if you need that. All right, so some say, why is that not yoga? Because it's just preparatory. Now we'll go to the camel pose. All right, so how do we do that? In your camel pose, I'm going to go here. Take my hands on option towards my hips. Maybe find my invisible back pocket like this, fingers pointing to my knees. Or if you want some way to support your pressing of your hips to the front, I'm going to put it like this. So how do we do that? So fingertips, this is going to be hard. Fingertips to the mid-back. And then I'm going to press it like this. Maybe just here at the top or the lower back. Pressing my elbows together. Shoulder blades are really reaching together here. Notice the heart opening already. Yeah? Without going in. So without really going back, I want you to lengthen the spine and notice how the heart opens. Now, with the guidance of your hands, your palms, press it forward. Notice how the glutes are engaging here as well. Opening your hips now. You can go and press a little bit more. So two things happening here. It's not the back bend where you can go just like that. We're not doing that. That's super painful. What we want is to keep lengthening the spine and keep pressing our hips forward, making that back bend shape. Yeah? So one more time. Hands on the hips. Press the heart forward. Roll the shoulders down and back. Elbows wants to touch each other. Squeeze it in. And then slowly open the hips forward. Heart up, up, up. Lengthen the spine so much that you're going back. We're just going to stay here for 5, 4. Release the tension in your face. 3. You can look up if you want. 2. And 1. Release. Come back, center. Release the hands. And then slowly sit down. Like so. Whew. So one thing about doing camel pose is that you need to neutralize the spine first before doing a counter stretch. Yeah? So usually in a yoga practice, they tell you to go into a counter stretch as soon as possible if you've done a really intense back bend. In this practice, instead, I want you to go and take a sit for a bit and then slowly fold down. Yeah? The blocks were there because you have an option to not put your hands here on your hips if this is not accessible. So just take your hands here at the side like this. Yeah, spider fingers. All of your palms, take it back if you have that more in you. If you were here, I want you to take your hips really, really forward. Roll the shoulders down your back again. Squeeze your elbows together at the back. And then you can look up. Yeah? That is also one good way to do that. Okay. Now, a little bit more lengthening on our spine, since these are the things that we can do to reduce pain. If you have any questions, you can go and just comment down below. We're going to do some more. So with your forward fold, I'm going to go here just so you can see what's happening on the opposite side. So just find your own forward fold. If you're here from the tabletop, tuck the toes, take your hips up and back, and then crawl back towards the back of the mat like this. I'm going to go here just so you can see everything. Plant both of your feet an option. Hip width distance apart or take them wider if your hips are super, super tight. Now, we're going to practice kindness. Bend the knees. So bend it so much that you can touch the floor. If this is not accessible for today, keep bending. So it's as if that your belly and your chest is on your thighs. Yeah? If you have more in you, you can shimmy it good. And if you have more in you, keep the bend on the knees and take your hands on opposite elbows for your ragdoll. So if you have been sitting for so long in your office or wherever you are, this is one good stretch that you can do when you take a pause. Just 1 minute or two. Close your eyes if you're here. Press more weight on the toes if you want more lengthening on the legs, on your hams. But really, you need to allow all of your upper body to just feel heavy here. So you can release any tension on all of your back. Make some spaces between each vertebrae. Yeah. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Release. Take your hands down. Bend the knees. Maybe go to your malasana if you're done with that. If you feel like you can do more of that, feel free to do that. Just 5 cycles of the breath because you might get dizzy if you go there longer. Take a pause and then go back at it again. Okay, next one. A little bit of a strength in there. We're going to do your plank. We've done this before. This is a part of your sun salutations. If you haven't done this, I'm going to show you how to do it. Super easy to do the shape, but really hard to stay there. Okay, I'm going to try to do it. So take my hands, shoulder distance apart like what we did on our tabletop, making sure that I'm pressing on all of my hands and I'm spreading my fingers out wide. If they're already stacked, extend both of your feet, hip width distance apart at the back. Tuck the tailbone, core in, engage it in. You can look in between the thumbs or you can look at the top of your mat, up to you. Engaging the core, tuck the tailbone as if your tailbone is pointing towards the heels. Now look at my heels. Is it pressing too much at the back or is it too much in front? I want you to make sure that the heels are in line with the balls of the feet. Also notice if your pinkies are up, press it down. You want everything engaged and activated there. Shoulder blades widen to the side as if your heart wants to touch the sky. In for 5, 4, take your hips lower maybe. 3, 2, notice the breath, relax the face, last one. And then let go. How do we do that? Bend the knees at the same time, take it down, and then relax. You can go to your child's pose if that was too much, or go to your wrist openers if that was too much. Yeah? Again, everything that you can do to strengthen your posture and reduce pain. In one way or another, you can go and release it. You can go and strengthen it so that when you are sitting down, you already know that you're strong, that you're not dumping it like this, and you don't have any problems with digesting later on. All right, let's do something next. Your favorite one, your downward facing dog. So take your hands down, tuck the toes. You've done this before. Take your hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. A little bit more. Finding awareness on how to do this with your posture. I want you to press on all of your hands and then slowly externally rotate your shoulders. What does that mean? It means I'm pressing on all of my hands as if my shoulders wants to touch the ears, and then I want you to cave them in as if your armpits want to see each other. See that rounding in the back, but not so much that your lower back is rounding as well. I want you to take your inner thighs outside like that. It's like a quick anterior pelvic tilt. So much happening. External rotation on the shoulders, internal rotation of the hips, so that you can press your hips higher to the sky. And then if this is not an option, with your heels taken up, bend the knees, support yourself good. It's really more on straightening the spine rather than straightening the legs, okay? You can bend the knees one by one if you need to do that. Or if you have more today, ground onto the heels and lift your toes up. Option there. Find awareness on all of your hands and your fingertips grounding down here. Ribs are in, gaze in between the toes or gaze through the legs, or find your belly button. If you find your belly button, you can see that there's this awesome stretch as well at the back of the neck. We're just going to stay here for 3, 2, and 1. Let's release. Maybe come back to your plank if you have that today, or just bend the knees at the same time, drop it to the ground, and then release. That's good. All right, take a space to breathe first if you haven't, or you held your breath there. We're gonna do some more standing. Okay, so this is what you can do if you think that you're having so much back pain in your office. Take a pause. We're gonna do some standing. I hope you can see me good. I'm gonna be here at the back or at the center of my mat, planting both of my feet hip-width distance apart. Take my hands on my hips and then maybe close my eyes and then rock forward and back. I want you to press your weight, radiate it from the toes towards your heels. Just notice the edges of your balance. And then once you feel that you have that, swing side to side. Notice the edges of the sides of the feet as well. You can take them wide if you feel that this is your perfect stance of a stand. You can do that. Or take them hip-width distance apart. Some people find them good if their big toes are touching and there's just a slight space in between the heels. If you don't want that, maybe heels together is perfect for you. Just I want you to go and notice where the balance is. Once you've reached the edges of each side, go to the center and find your balance straight on the spine. Now we're going to do some side stretches. Take your hands up and overhead, and then slowly left hand will grab the right wrist here, reaching here, shrugging the shoulders towards the ears. And then this is just an option. This is where you can stay and then just dip down towards the left. We've done this before. But if you want a little bit more, I'm going to tap my right foot, slide it, maybe an option at the back of my left foot, or maybe towards the left side, keeping a good bend on the left knee so that I can tug it in. Maybe it's just the outer edge of the right foot, or plug it all in. The right big toe is also grounded, right? So all of my palms are reaching the sky. That's one good inhale. And then on our exhale, we're going to dip towards our left. Maybe bend onto the left elbow so you can really stretch that right side body. Yeah, if you feel that you're coming up, make it square. It means that your right ribs are aligned with the left. Inhale for 4, 3, palms really pressing, 2, and 1. Come back center. So with the hands first, keep a good bend on the left knee and step it back. Whew, release the hands, shake the legs. Doing everything on the opposite side. Let's go. Hands up and overhead. Right hand this side on your left wrist. Press it away. Again, option to just stay here and swing it. Dip it to the right side. Lengthen the left side body. Or again, something that we can do if we have some more. Left foot at the back of your right, or here at the outside edge of your right foot. Yeah, making sure nothing is painful here. Lengthen as we inhale, and then on our exhale, we're just going to go and dip it towards the right. I'm going to show you how to do it. Hands up. Dip it in. Keep a good bend on the right knee. And swing it to the right. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Press the left hip to the side. In for 4. Soften the face. 3. Right ear to the right shoulder if you want more. 2. And then 1. Release. Come back center. And then relax. Shake the legs. Shake everything in. Okay. Now we're going to take a seat. This is something that you can do if you're just sitting on the office and you don't have that much space, like all the things that we have done, probably on the floor or standing up. Find a block. I'm going to go here just so you can see me. And take a seat there. Imagine I'm sitting on a chair like this. I'm just going to go ahead and find my Sukhasana or my easy sitting pose with my legs, left or right foot in front. If you're doing this on the mat, you can do this with me. You can find a meditation pillow or a bolster, plug it here in your bum, or a thick book if you want that. Pressing or finding a block here allows us to be aware of our posture here, making a straight line on our spine. If this is not available for you today, you can find yourself lying down or maybe sitting beside the wall. All right, lengthen here. This is already good enough. If you have some more, we're going to try a twist. So if you're going to twist and you're on a wall, get yourself out there and come to the middle of your mat. So inhale to lengthen first, and then exhale. Maybe find one side. I'm going to go with my left. Looking at my left knee, right hand will ground onto the left knee, left hand will reach the back. If you're sitting on a chair, the front can go to the outer edge of your left knee. And then the other hand can maybe grab the edge of the chair or maybe here, handle it good. Notice that you're not putting so much tension on your shoulders. This is really lengthening here the spine, and notice how you can twist more on the mid-back. You can gaze at the back, find your left shoulder or close your eyes. Breathing in and breathing out. In for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Begin to release. Open the eyes. Come back centered. Doing everything on the opposite side. Hands up, up, up. And then swing it to the opposite side. This time my right. Left hand on my right knee, maybe the outer edge. And then maybe the other hand to the back, or grab that edge of the chair, or maybe tug it in wherever it wants to land. Lengthen as we inhale. Notice that scooping sensation in the belly. Cinch the waistline in and then slowly find that space to twist deeper. Here, heart opens, peel that right shoulder back. Gaze at the back. Find your right shoulder. Or close your eyes. Inhale. And exhale. Take 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's release. Come back center and breathe. There you go. So those are the things that we can do for this pose, for this practice. If you have any questions, again, feel free to comment down below. Let's go and make some more options for you if ever something is too much or something is too easy and we need some more. Thank you so much for being here in our practice for today. Please go and comment down below if you have something that you need to ask with regards to our practice. Feel free to go back into this video if you feel like there's a part in your day that you're having problems with your posture. And this is a way for us to reduce pain. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you next week.